All right. I think it's about time. Let's kick in, and I'm sure other guys will keep on following and joining us through the journey. So thank you again. Welcome to one of the coolest conversation happening in the valley, in the tech world, etc. And I couldn't be happy, proud, really, and just too excited of all the people who have agreed to present their views on this topic. Um, I've been very fortunate to meet them in my professional careers, worked with some of them very closely. They are mentors, and I have learned a lot. And that's why we wanted to go and bring them up on stage so that all of us can learn collectively. So thank you, Jaspreet. Thank you, Flomo, and thank you, Ashutosh, for joining us. And let's just kickstart this interesting journey. And this is the broad agenda that we like to cover. We are going to try to stick to time so that we leave some time for question and answers for all you guys, because the whole idea of this is to increase interactivity and hear from what you think, but also feel free to put down your questions on the chat anytime you like. So let's start, and I think the first I'd like to give the floor to Jaspreet to share his views on his favorite word is demystifying AI. So over to you, sir.
Hey, thanks, Shwetank. Thanks everyone for being here. Nice to meet people virtually. Even before we begin, a couple of caveats. Number one, I might not be able to stay for the entire session today. I was telling Shwetank I'm kind of juggling between this and a client meeting. So I might have to go in and out. That's one. And the second is that upfront, let me just state that I'm no expert either on AI or on generative models, which we are going to talk today. I'm, like most of you, extremely interested in both AI as well as the latest hype which is happening around generative models, and it's a little beyond the hype too, but we'll chat about that. My interest in AI largely comes from the ethical and the philosophical side. Among other things, I'm actually, in my relative old age, a student again. I'm doing my second master's in Cambridge University in AI ethics and society. And that whole view that I'm getting, very different from an engineering view, very different from a business view, sometimes might color some of the things that I might say. But that's a fascinating view of AI. AI itself is too massive to kind of have an expertise in, to have a single view on. So with those two caveats, let me just try and talk 5-7 minutes about this question, which is that whether AI, which Shwetank has asked me to talk about, which is whether AI can be creative. Now, if you're expecting that after 7 to 8 or 10 minutes, I'm going to give you an answer on yes and no, you'll be sorely disappointed. What I will try and do is to give you a little bit of a view into this, lens into this, and then each of us could decide. I do have a view, but it's not that it's the final view. Things are happening so fast that by the time you frame your view, things have changed around you, and so that's it. Now, so I'm not going to talk about AI here. I'm assuming that every one of this audience pretty much is reasonably well versed, or at least reads a lot, is interested in artificial intelligence. And so I'm not going to talk about that. What I will talk about, however, is a little bit about creativity. And creativity is a funny thing. I mean, it has many definitions. In fact, some of the definitions are quite provocative. Creativity, they say, a creative human being is a child who never grew up. Al-Vivi, who's a famous Nobel Prize, I think, winning, not Nobel Prize, but famous dissident Chinese artist, defines creativity as something which can only be untaught. It cannot be taught. In fact, you have to unteach creativity. And the reason I mentioned this particular definition is because in the context of AI, that becomes very weird, right? All of AI, and especially all of machine learning or deep learning, which are the largest parts of AI in many ways, or even computer vision to an extent, are how you train models, which means how you teach AI to do what it does. And here's Alvivi saying that, look, creativity can only be untaught. And so if AI is fundamentally a technology where you train it or teach it, and creativity is fundamentally something where you unteach, then how do the two come together? And therefore, whether it can really happen or not happen. Part one. Part two. Let's kind of explore creativity in a little more detail. Lots of work has been done. Lots of great academic work has been done on creativity. One of the most famous works on creativity have been done by Professor Margaret Bowden, who teaches at Oxford, if I'm not mistaken. And she's written one of the fundamental seminal works on creativity. And what she says is that there are three kinds of creativity. The first kind is a creativity which is according to her something which sorry, just give me a moment. There seems to be some problem in my computers. Is something which she calls exploratory creativity. And she says that 80–90% of people have exploratory creativity. And exploratory creativity is, something like making art, or, solving a problem creatively, or, making music, or making painting. And you explore the boundaries of what you can do, and you kind of create something new. And that's exploratory creativity. The second kind of creativity which she talks about is what is called combination or combinatorial creativity. You take an element from architecture, say, and an element from mathematics, and you kind of combine that together to create something something totally new, a building, for example, which it looks like a hyperbolic arc, which comes from mathematics. And she says that about 8–10% of people are good also in combinational creativity. And then she has a third kind of creativity, which she says is transformational creativity, which is, someone coming up with the theory of relativity, or someone coming up with the concept of root of -1. Okay, something which is absolutely totally new. Now, what she says, and I'm kind of summarizing a lot of her very, very extensive work, is that just computers can master the first kind, exploratory creativity. They can defeat human beings at chess, for example, because most of exploratory creativity is deterministic. It has boundaries. Combinational creativity is difficult for mere computers to do. And AI is good in that. So you give a sentence command and it can produce music by combining, or it can produce an art by searching for what the sentence means amongst visuals and kind of bringing those visuals together, as DALL-E or Imagen, etc. famously do. But the third, she says, transformational, so far, is only something which human beings can do. It's not yet something, so far, until we reach artificial general intelligence, it's not something AI will do. That's one view. Now, what I tried and did, and I try and do, is to see, and what this slide shows, is, if you think of creativity, what are the manifestations of creativity? Music is a manifestation. Art, games, talking, debating, conversation, writing is a manifestation. Now, it'll be good to see that, look, and obviously these are manifestations of human creativity. Now, if you kind of take each one, and I know Florent is going to talk in much more detail about this, so I'm not going to kind of tread into that, but just might lead into some of the stuff, amazing stuff that he's going to talk about. But if you kind of take music, you go and search for AI created music on Google, you'll find some tens of thousands of great tracks. I tend to play a track, which I'm not going to do here, to people, which was reportedly the first step. And this was about 20 years or 15 or 20 years back. And when you hear that, most times people don't want me to stop. They want me to keep on playing it on because it's so nice. But the second thing that they realize is that it seems to be a new Beatles song. And you know, this particular AI was trained on all Beatles music. And so not only did it create a Beatlish kind of song, but even very corny Beatles lyrics. And now obviously we know music, there's so much of stuff which has happened on AI created music. Now we've had music of David Morrison after he died. The Doors guy, I forget his first name, Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison, after he died, there's a famous club called the Lost Music or something of 27. A lot of these artists, Amy Winehouse, Jim Morrison, died when they were 27. And so had they lived on further, they could have created some brilliant music. Now AI is creating it for them, you know, and so this club of 27 has music beyond it. And so in many ways, AI seems to have mastered the music manifestation of creativity. Art, we all know. I mean, sorry, where did it go? Can you go up one?
I just moved it just from time check perspective.
Okay.
And also, you know, the 27 club is really famous.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty interesting topic for people to read on the side as well. But yeah,
okay.
please go.
So you give me 60 more seconds and I'll finish everything else. And I will learn this trick from you of changing slides to make people stop stuff. Okay, so can you go up back one side, please?
Sorry, there it is.
No worry. Art, there's Dali, there's a bunch of stuff. I will leave that to Florence, seems to have mastered art. We all know the story of Go and Lee Sedol. Beyond chess, which was simple with Garry Kasparov. Today, 10 out of 10 times a computer will defeat Garry Kasparov in chess. The story of Go is famous, which should never have happened. And now Lee Sedol, the world global Go champion, has resigned. Go is a game of creativity. There was a famous episode in which a human being, supposedly the world champion of debating, was defeated by IBM's debating engine. You can go and look at that. And then obviously writing, which is so difficult for an AI to do. I attempted it in my book, where a chapter on AI was written by an AI. This was before GPT-3. And then now GPT-3 and multiple others have come in and kind of blown that away. And so coming to the next slide, Shwetank, where I shut up. I'm sure you have seen this, and maybe Florent also kind of talks about this, but now there are specific generative AI applications for specific things, whether art or marketing or sales or others. And therefore, in many ways, a lot of the argument is that AI is becoming as creative as human beings. I have a view, however, and my view is that still very far away. These are amazing prompts which can do a bunch of stuff, but it's still something which is relying on work which has been done. And so in many ways, generative AIs are plagiaristic. They plagiarize work which has already been done and kind of create something new. But I will leave it here, Shwetank, so that you can move further on. And if I'm around, happy to take questions later.
Thank you, Jaspreet. And one of the things that Jaspreet shared on LinkedIn I think a month back, which is really interesting, is I think a creator using some technology, I don't remember, created a podcast conversation with Steve Jobs. So it was an entire podcast that he was recording, and Steve Jobs, you know, AI created, and the way the guy was answering, the way he was thinking was just amazing. Thank you, Jaspreet. I know, and then we'll come back to you, but really appreciate your time. Just moving on, Flo, let's go over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shwetank. Maybe I can just 20 seconds about me. So I work for a pretty cool company called Nodo, which is at the intersection of the physical world and the digital world. And I'm a user of new technologies. So the way I'm going to talk about it today is as a user. We're not doing generative AI. However, I've invested in Cooee because I strongly believe in this new trend and this kind of new technologies. I'll start with a sentence from Steve Jobs. We talked about him before. Computers are like a bicycle of our minds. So that's what he was saying about computers. And generative AI is a kind of a new computing paradigm. So we can go to the next slide. What is generative AI? It's actually a marketing term today. It broadly describes programs that can use existing content, so like text, images, and videos, in order to create original content. So creativity is what Jaspreet talked about. Of course, creativity of humans is exactly the same. You start as a baby, you copy the others, and you start creating something original. This is pretty much what generative AI is doing. They use our static stuff, and then they become original. And what I would say about generative AI, next slides, please, is that it's like a bicycle and a co-pilot merge into one. So instead of just becoming a bicycle like the computer, in a way, you are the driver with a co-pilot, or I must even say that sometimes you are the co-pilot and the generative AI is the pilot. So you're kind of helping the generative AI do the work, but you are not even at the center. There are many innovations in this space: text, code, images, videos, music. So if you start with text, one of the tools that you may be using yourself already today is Grammarly. It's very famous for actually improving your English writing. And two startups are actually doing some very cool work also in the text. Is Cooee.ai, which is very brilliant for short form text, like if you want to do a tweet, for instance, it's actually brilliant. And Jasper is more focused on long form. So you want to write a blog post. I can swear I tried. It's a brilliant how you can improve your writing, and you actually create original things based on input, like simple ideas. And sometimes you wonder how this stuff works. This is actually more amazing, and it's actually called Copilot. So the Copilot analogy makes a lot of sense. GitHub has launched this Copilot system, which is basically, you used to have pair programming in my old age when I was a developer. Now the AI is your Copilot and actually helps you write code or even write comments. So you start writing code, and the comment, which was always annoying for every developers, is being written by the AI. It's amazing. Image, you have heard of DALL-E. If you have not tried it, I would recommend to try it. You have some free. You can create an account, and you will not be able to create millions of versions, but you can actually create for free about 10. And Stable Diffusion is open source and is done by Stability AI, also pretty amazing. So those two things are, you have a prompt, and the AI will give examples of what you say. And what is revolutionary with it is that, yes, you can create almost photorealistic images, so you can somehow replace the photographer, but you can also create original things that is impossible in reality. Videos as well are being worked on. You have a company called Movio, very good for creating, for instance, presentation of products. And also Meta has launched Make a Video, and they're going to be released this very soon. Again, if you see the Meta AI stuff, it's about creating content that doesn't exist today. So you have two kind of use cases here. You have something which is real, like you want to create very fast, very cheap, very efficient things that would exist today. But you also have the ability to create things that are completely crazy and would never exist. Music, also impressive. This product called Sonro helps you create license-free custom music. So back to Jaspreet, is like music is quite impressive as well. For multiple reasons. There's a reason of cost. You don't have to pay licenses. So of course, it's going to disrupt this entire industry for every content you produce on YouTube, for instance. But there's also for games, you can have unlimited based on the experience you have in a game. The music will be AI composed in real time based on the activity. Pretty much like in a movie where the music is related to the video. Here, the video can be a game which is unpredictable, and the music adapts to what's happening. So there's an explosion of apps and services in this generative AI space. It's pretty mind-blowing what's going on in this year specifically. And the kind of use cases are obvious. So let's go to the next one. You have content marketing, which is the one that is getting the most traction. Art and design, DALL-E is one example. I mean, the name says it all. It's all about art, software development with coding. Also network security. You can have an AI who is actually trying to hack your system and give you some insight about the security of your network. And image enhancement, for instance, you may have an old picture and you will make it was black and white and very bad. And then suddenly you see your grandparents in color, in beautiful settings. So this is also very good for personal things. I would like to conclude with future use cases. Actually, this week, there were some announcements. Yeah, maybe we can go straight to the next and give some time for the rest. Digital ads is actually super interesting because Facebook and all the other players, they have been severely impacted by changes on Apple. So you have less and less information about your users, but AI might be able to compensate that by actually providing hyper-personalized ads, which is related to your activity. And TikTok is working on similar things in terms of more targeting. So they're not looking at the content, they're just looking at who is more susceptible to be liking a particular type of ads. The next generation will be the ads itself will be created on the fly and based on the activities of the user. And last but not least, notification and engagement is actually one reason why I really believe in what Cooee is doing. They are working exactly in this part. Is like, could we make notifications so personal that you would feel like it's a friend who has sent it to you? Notifications are extremely boring today. You look at what Facebook tries to send you email to get you back into the site. It's always the same. They have the most powerful AI in the world, but still the notifications are always extremely boring, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. There is an opportunity to create AI-powered, generated notification and engagement message that will make you feel way more personally touched by the product. So I think this is a next revolution that we are going to see in the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you, Florent. Good insight. So from Jaspreet, who had a experience plus academic view, Florent coming from a deep tech and technology adapter view from product and a range of things that companies and startups use. I think let's go down to the customer engagement problem that we have. I'll just like to take like a minute to talk about it. And then we will give the floor to Ashutosh, who's our lead data scientist and who's been working on this for quite some time, and to show you the amazing stuff that the team has created. So just to go and deep down further on what Florent said, right? All of us kind of don't like the spammy notifications. In fact, borderline hate them, or they're really annoying. No prices for guessing that the first thing you get up and do in the morning is to just remove all of them on your phone, or even the one that you see when you're surfing a website, a pop-up or anything. It is just so generic, right? And from a technology perspective, it's hard for us to go and find out that there is so much customer data flying around everywhere. Countries in Europe did the GDPR, bought everything. And in the past 4 to 5 years, what's happened that customers like you and me, now we know that brands collect our data also. So the expectation of what you will be shown on the digital property has risen. Past 2 unfortunate years because of the pandemic, people's digital habits consumption has changed drastically as well. And even in a household of 4, all 4 of them on an average will have a complete different habit of what they like, what they want, how they do things on their smartphone or on their laptop, etc. And this is a fundamental problem in customer engagement, is brands and companies are unable to marry data and design together. If you read what the customer wants, data can give you that. but most of them struggle in trying to capture that data. They capture it maybe not in the right way, maybe in Google Analytics, but they can't really use it again, or maybe they don't capture the right data. So if you capture the right data, then decoding it, taking it through the entire processing part, generating insights from it that can actually be delivered in real time, and then having a system that learns that did this thing particular work or didn't work is what is going to define the next age of the whole digital customer engagement. And this part is completely broken. One more perspective that I just want to highlight, and then I'm going to give it to Ashutosh, is because of the changes and advancements in technology, creating a mobile app and mobile web has become far more simple now. Right? 10 years back, you really had to pay someone $20,000-$30,000 to create a nice website. You can do that for 20 pounds a month now on Shopify. Or you can create a mobile app on Bubble, just all for free, etc. Digital marketing has become more and more accessible. 5 years back, you used to pay some digital marketing consultant to run some ads for you, but today you can go to Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook all by yourself and do this. But the other important part of this entire customer journey is to engage customers. That still remains majorly unsolved. Globally, less than 3% of customers coming to your e-commerce channel get converted. You have paid money to bring 100 customers to your website, but only 3 buy from you. There is a huge gap of this 97%. And the other stat says more than 85% of consumers today say that I want personalized engagement. I want personalized offering whenever I come to you. Don't show me generic stuff, because my attention span is reducing and there's no dearth of brands or options in the market. So within those few seconds, you better show me something that I like. Otherwise, no chance. So that was in customer engagement, what we all witnessed today. Let's see how we're trying to solve it. So Ashutosh, over to you.
Thanks, Shwetank. So let me share my screen, then we can start.
Yeah, I can stop sharing.
Can you please enable screen sharing?
Sorry. Done.
Okay. So basically, the traditional way that people have been doing engagements and creating payloads to see on notification is a Photoshop designer will do the whole engagement. He will take some 20 minutes and then he will send it to a backend engineer. Then you will be sending that on different sorts of notifications. But how we are doing stuff is we are taking all the data, we are processing it through our ML pipeline. We have different algorithms, models to process the data and then generate payloads which are actually good looking and then which are personalized to particular customers that they are being sent on with the product that is the content. So here we are satisfying 3 conditions, which enables more user engagement, and also the user who is looking at the engagement, he is also getting some interaction with the app itself. So we have different. So basically, what we are doing right now is we are taking the image. We have name personalization where you will be sending different. Each customer will get his own catered engagement with price optimization, and all the engagements that is shown right now, that is very pleasing to eye. So basically, after everything is generated, we have different algorithms that tells us which color matches for which image, and which placements, the placement of different text elements and the fonts to use, what sort of price optimization technique to use, and all these things are combined in one model, and after that it is being fed to a scoring mechanism which scores the images based on aesthetic elements, and then the best output is given to you so that you can select that output payload, or you can change it according to you and then send it to different people. So we can just start with a demo.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ashutosh, I don't believe you. I need to see it
Okay.
to believe it, please.
Yeah. So it is very simple. So you can just click on try for free, and then you will go to this place. This is what we call a composer. This is a composer for us. So these are the few templates that the legacy people do. What you can do, matlab, if you want to use it, you can just directly click it. Then you have the option to choose how much you want to show. So basically you can go to preview, and then you can type your own website name. For example, let's see in this our own website, letsbe.com. So traditional way, this is the traditional way where you are sending a payload that has been already created by the Photoshop designer, and there is no personalization in this part. So how we are doing it is we have a generative AI option. So you have to give us, so there are two types of generations that we are doing. One is one to many. Basically you will be creating one engagement which will go to all sorts of customers, and there is another aspect which is one to one. So starting with one to many, here I have pre-filled some information. One is primary text. So basically, this is the tagline that you want to have. Let's say you have some sort of offer that is going on Black Friday or something. So you want to have this, and then there is secondary text, which is optional for you. Uh, Basically, you just have to input some text and the context. So we have some models that derives the context from here, and then you have to give one image URL and the CTA, what is the action that you want to do, and you can start with generate options. So what this will do is it will create payloads for you. Basically, these are the engagements that the AI is generating for that particular image. It is processing all the information regarding colors, the whole aesthetics, the whole schemes, and then it is trying to generate multiple, let's say 40, 50, and all those types of collections, and then it is generating images, which after this, what you can do is you can just select it out, and after selection, you can preview it. So you have different options to preview. You can customize it using how much you want to see, where the placement for this particular app should be. So yeah.
So Ashutosh, can I ask a question just to make it pretty clear for me? So if we break down this image, the one that you've shown, firstly, this entire thing design is generated by AI here, right?
Yes.
And why did AI design it like this? Right? It could have designed in some other way as well. So can you go through like those 5 steps of how was this image finally produced?
So first thing is, when the image comes to us, we see if the image has actually the quality of the image is good enough to show that as a notification. And if the quality is not good, we enhance the image. And after that, what we do is we generate few samples of the same image. Then we have certain algorithms which tells us which color to use, which sort of gradient to use, what sort of placement, where the placement of different text would be. And after that, we are generating all the text that goes with this. For example, here it is trending shoes, and this is actually the product name that we take from the CMS and then produce this particular output. And as I said, the whole image generation, that is for in terms of aesthetics, what we are trying to do is we want to maximize the likability of the image, so that when the user sees this, he will have a particular engagement which has been catered to uh, his preference. For example, after getting this particular image, what the when the user clicks on it, our AI will learn he likes this sort of images, so will have all sorts of time personalization when to send him the notification, and where it is being shown, and if the product is actually wanted by the user. So we have different systems built on that.
So this image that you start working with basically is a product recommendation for that particular user, right? So the product recommendation via data is saying that this person needs to be given a shoe, and then you take the image of the shoe and then add name personalization, text personalization, price, discount, offer, and also decide when and where to show it, right? These are all the things that you do with every single engagement.
Yes, and for every single engagement, there are a lot of images that we generate, and after each generation, it passes through our scoring pipeline. That is a model that we have built on different images and the engagements that users are seeing on a day-to-day basis, and the scoring algorithm tells us these are the top images that that will affect that will have a positive effect on the whole engagement cycle that we are trying to run.
So on the scroll, that if you've generated 30 images, each image is for one user.
Yes.
At scale.
Yeah. So
okay.
Everything that we are generating, that
how
is.
Much time do you think it kind of takes from the backend system to generate an image like this?
So that depends on the quality of image. Basically, if you have a low quality image, that will take a bit of time, but generally in average, it takes somewhere about 20 to 30 milliseconds for one image.
And we compare that to a graphic designer taking 20 minutes to create an image, which is just one image. Okay, that's good. As in, I personally, I think the best part of this image for me is the gradient, the way it's looking. We will like to listen to it from the other guys also what they think. But okay.
So yeah, so everyone, the whole system is free for now, so you guys can check it out. The whole engagement and installation, that is very easy to set up, and it takes literally minutes to set everything up and do the same thing that I showed you on your own website. So you guys can try it out. So yeah, that is for me.
Perfect. And can you talk a little bit about the statistics side of things, that whatever the platform delivers, can we track it? Can we see what is Cooee able to deliver or not, etc.?
Yeah, so on that point, when you are going to dashboard, you will see all the statistics over here. So this is obviously a test site that we have spun up for the webinar. So here you will have access to everything, all the statistics that is related to the engagement and all the analytics. So you have different options to see over here.
Okay, good. And if I am a Shopify user or I have a website, do I need to go and do some separate integration, or you automatically pull the images and then do all these things by yourself?
So if you're doing Shopify or any sorts of all these things, the whole CMS integration and everything is seamless, and you don't have to click anything. Everything will be pulled automatically once you sign up.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I hope I get to see more of blue color, because that's what I like, rather than pink and green. Will AI take care of all those scenarios, or how does that continuous learning part works?
So once you start building your own engagement and you create more and more engagement on specific colors that you like or your user is liking, or even the brand colors, the AI will learn that, and then it will try to create images that is catered for either your audience or yourself or brand colors that the AI will learn itself.
Okay. All right. I think, thank you. You can stop sharing now. Thank you, Ashutosh, for sharing and showing everybody a lot of work that you and the team have done over all these years now. Guys, I think we're perfectly on time. So we have about 15 minutes. Any thoughts, any questions, any feedback, or any problem that you're facing with your business that you'd like us to, address, feel free to either just come up and talk by yourself or put that on the chat. Yeah. So while we do that, guys, just wanted to say that this is a very generative AI is a very, I would not say new concept, but I think the final use cases of this is coming more and more now. Like Florent took us from an industry perspective, Cooee is trying to work on a very small thing, just the engagement and notification part of it. We're focusing on one use case from a delivery perspective. With the plans that we will go ahead and the image that we are creating, we can send that over a WhatsApp or an SMS or an email over the period of time with an omni-channel engagement. Because imagine you getting engaged with one image which is 100% made only for you in real time. So you actually end up seeing what you want rather than what my graphic designer made for me, or what my limited segments had for me. A very I would say common problem here is I went on Facebook and by mistake I clicked on a shoe. Everybody else is going to keep on showing me shoes because ads work like that today with your cookies or with your click. Facebook goes and gives all this data via their SDK. What we are trying to do is to bring and enable you have the power inside your channel, your website, your mobile app, or any of your e-commerce store, and then engage with your users one-to-one. Something which is amazingly, I think, not looked at while you are launching a new brand or creating a service is people don't think of user engagement as an important thing to have right from day one. Our only request is make sure you have a strategy in place, make sure you're gathering data right from day one, because that will also give you a good indicator of what your customers really want on your website or from your brand. But also over a period of time, then you can take that information and then start, reaching back to them, engaging with them, etc. Don't use a tool where data is getting captured, but you can't use it, or you have to hire again analysts to go and understand what the data is, but something that you can plug in to your channel. And very important is how your system learns from the customer, brings that back to, again, the next engagement or how you talk to them the next time. The AI systems are able to reach where they are only because they have the continuous learning module in it. With every data, you improve and get better. And I think, that's the most important thing, what you need to have. So good, guys. I have not seen anything in the chat. Not sure if anyone else has any feedback for us, but we will circulate the video and also the deck that we presented with all the attendees. And in case you guys want to reach out to us, feel free to do that. I'm just gonna have my last slide here, just to finish the session. So thank you. You can reach out to us at shout out, and also if you want to go and get access to the platform, you can do that via our website or via this QR code as well. I just see a chat, so maybe there's something, yeah. So you guys can do that. And we really appreciate your time this morning for the guys in the UK and afternoon. Hopefully this session leaves you more charged up to go and improve customer engagement on your websites and improve conversions and get more revenue. And happy to help in whatever way we can. And again, thank you for joining the session.
Thank you, Shwetank.
All right. Thank you, Flo. Thank you, Ashutosh. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care. Cheers. Bye.